Hi, my name is Andie, and this is the Me Being Me project. For 28 days, I am going to create and share 28 videos all about me. This is just my little corner of the world where I can feel free to create my art, play my music, speak my truth, and share my story. Today, I am exploring A. Austin, the storyteller side of me. Today, I am going to share a story from my childhood about when I first rode a bike. I'm also going to speak my truth about my memories. This is just me being me, unapologetically. Would you like to join me?
I feel free, me.
I am the connection to my truth and to others through my stories. I am a writer, a teacher, and a sexual assault survivor. I am an elephant. I am a voice. I am community. I am expression. I am memory, truth, and integrity. I speak my truth and I tell my story. I am A. Austin, the storyteller me. And this is my big truth. I have really shitty memory. It's something that has caused a lot of problems in my life because of my memory. And it also has made it very difficult for me in a lot of regards. I know that a lot of the reasons I've got really bad memory is because of my anxiety. I just don't remember things the same way as others. I don't have the same recollection of situations, of events, and there's a lot of my childhood that I do not remember at all. But that is one of the reasons why I want to do this project, is so that I can remember who I am at this time. And even though I do have a shitty memory, and even if I may recall things differently than others, it's okay, because it's my memory and it's what makes me me. And I will just apologize for my shitty memory for as long as I live. And that is my big truth. Hi, friend. Thanks for joining me today. Today is the 11th day of the Me Being Me project. 28 days, 28 videos about me. Today, I'm not sharing any art or any music. Today's just about my stories. One of the reasons why I'm doing this project is because one day I want to be a writer. I have a lot of stories in me that I feel like I could execute in a lot of different ways. Just not quite sure which way that is. And honestly, there's a lot of learning that I still have to do in regards to how to bring a story to life. But I thought the first step just to be sharing my story. So that's what I'm doing here. Every Thursday of this project, I'm just going to come and share a story from my childhood. The random fact about me for the day is I love to watch YouTube videos of like documentaries or even just vlogs where people are just really authentically speaking their truth and telling their story. I just find it fascinating to be able to have access to so many different kinds of stories, so many different kinds of people. I never really understood why people stay so close to their own little lives and their own little corner of the world when we have the internet there to expand our views and hear different stories from different people in different walks of life. So here is the story of my first bike ride. I first learned how to ride a bike. I was 4 or 5 years old. My sisters, they were my community, my tribe, my life. I didn't even speak to my parents or any adults. Everything went through my sisters. And that summer, we had a good gang of kids in the neighborhood that we would all go and play. This was back in the days when parents felt comfortable to just send their kids outside every day in the summer, have them come home at lunch, and then back for dinner. And so we played and played and played. And it was a great time for me, especially because I had a lot of struggles with social anxiety, with communication, with speaking what I really wanted, my truth. And then one day, one of the kids said, "Hey, I found a new park. It has better swings. It has a big hill we could roll down, but we need to take our bikes." And I was the youngest one of the group and hadn't learned how to ride yet. And so I was going to be left behind. And I was so afraid of being left behind, not because I couldn't handle being alone, because I loved being by myself, but I really wanted to be part of a community, and this was my community. This is what we did every day. We played together, and I was going to be left behind. It was not a good feeling. But I didn't know how to ride, and as much as my sisters tried to persuade the group to stay, they all went. I remember so distinctly sitting there crying as I watched them go down the big hill and out of sight, where they stayed all day long, and I stayed on that curb waiting for my sister's return. That whole day, all I could think about was how I was paralyzed in fear that I would hurt myself if I tried to learn how to ride a bike. And I realized that it was my fear holding me back from what I really wanted. I wanted to be part of that group. I didn't like to be called a baby, unable to fend for myself. It was very important for me to be self-sufficient, and everything pointed to that. I needed to learn how to ride a bike, and I had to do it fast. So the next day, all the kids got together and said, "Let's go back to that park." And I said, "I want to go too." And my sister said, you can't keep up. We don't have time to have you ride." And I stood my ground and I said, "I want to learn. Show me how, and I will go." So they convinced the group to put me to a test. Go up to the top of the big hill, and if I could stay on the bike to the bottom of the hill, then I knew how to ride well enough to go to the park with them. All the neighborhood kids were down at the bottom of the hill waiting for me, anxious to get to the swings and the playground, and frustrated that they had to wait for this little child who didn't know how to do the simplest thing of riding a bike. My sisters stood at the top of the hill with me, showing me where I needed to hold my hands and how I should place my feet and how the momentum from the hill would allow me to keep going. I'm going to go. I don't need to worry about pedaling. Just cruise down the hill. Just stay on the bike. And I knew that this was the moment of the biggest fear that I had. I knew that if I could face this fear and be part of the group and go, I could accomplish anything. My sisters, one on each side of me, encouraging me, letting me know that I can do it, that they will be here for me. I felt strong, supported. And you know what? I rode down that hill and I did not fall off. I did not need training wheels, and I got to go to the park with the kids all summer long. And I always remember that story because it allowed me to see things very clearly. My fears were always going to hold me back, and that the only way to overcome them is to face them head on and head down the hill. And that is my story.